So I want you just go into a happy thought. Just remember it. Go into it. Remember. Just tell me when you're done. That's
Okay, I'm
fine.
done.
So now I want you to do it again, but I want you to analyze what happens when you do
What do you mean?
it. So do it again, go back into that thought, and analyze what happens to, first of all, your vision. When you come out of it.
That's interesting.
Do it as many times as you need to do it. Go deeply into the thought. And as you're coming out, analyze what happens to your vision.
So when you're in the thought, everything kind of goes like this. When you come out of the thought, everything comes
Expands
like this.
again.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's like you're contracting inwardly at the thought. And then when you let go of that thought, you kind of go, ooh.
Then your vision comes
Yeah.
back. So your vision actually shuts off, right?
Yeah, because I guess your vision is going back into your brain, seeing the scenes in your brain and what happened and everything like that. So you're internalizing and you're seeing like a movie screen, and then so you're really
And
not
out here
focusing.
disappears.
Yeah, out here it disappears.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Perfect.
Yeah.
Now I want you to do it again, and I want you to analyze your other senses: feeling, smell, hearing. What happens to those when you go into those thoughts? So go in and out as many times as you need.
Everything kind of goes away. Like you stop focusing on the wind, the horse pee smell. Like everything kind of just
Disappears.
disappears.
Perfect.
Yeah, everything kind of. Wow, you don't even realize that's what happens when you start to think inwardly.
And you start to think.
Yeah, because your brain,
You're
your
only
brain
saying
is
inwardly because I'm bringing this to your attention.
yeah. But when you start to think, you don't realize that
The
even
world
though
shuts off.
the world shuts off because we live in these two kind of dual things. We think that we're paying attention, but we're really not. We're not able to. So much for multitasking. Blew that out of the water.
So that was beautiful. And so at first when you were going into thought, your eyes were kind of shifting around, but that's because you were nervous. We've got the camera on you and all of that. But then when you started to feel it and get into it and really analyze it, your eyes did this.
They go down.
And what happens is the eyes go down and everything shuts off.
Yeah.
All your senses. Your sight, your smell, your hearing, you don't hear things, so that it all goes away.
So this is sort of what happens when I paint. I lose track of time.
Focus.
It's called, what we call it, you go into this sort of sweet spot.
Yeah.
And you don't pay attention
I
pretty
call it
much.
the zone.
Yeah, you go into a zone. And you don't pay attention to what's going on around you. You really aren't listening to the music anymore. Your focus is on what you're doing, and you're using a whole other part of your brain. Like, so that other part can't function when this part is going.
That's right.
And
Shuts off.
It shuts off because could be there for hours, and then the only reason I come out of it is if I get a little ding on my phone. I'm on my way home. Oh, what time is it? Yeah, but so that's the only thing I can equate it to is when I get there.
But you have an advantage because you already know what the zone is.
Yes.
So when I'm working with a horse, I go into the zone. As long as I'm not talking too much, I can kind of stay half in and out of the zone when I'm talking.
Mhm.
But when I'm not, I go into that zone. The
Mhm.
time doesn't exist. And a lot of people don't know what that zone is. They haven't experienced it. But you have, so you have an advantage. But yeah, you go into the zone.
Yes.
So I'm going to bring you into that zone of horses, but this is where we're starting. So you need to understand that thoughts, thinking, the mind is a curtain. As soon as you go into thoughts, you just experienced what happens. You didn't realize it, you didn't know it until you really analyzed what happens. So when you're in your head and you're thinking about the sequential steps, can you see what your horse is telling you?
No, but you're not
You
really
cannot.
focusing on that. You're focusing on
Well,
you can't
this-
do two things at once.
it has nothing to do with wanting to focus. It has to do with you just learned that that curtain goes up and everything else disappears that's in front of you and around you. So, in order to become effective with listening to horses and starting by reading their body language, you cannot be in your head because there's that curtain that prevents you from seeing. You cannot see. You will not see. You may see big movements and start to recognize those, but to get into the more subtler listening to what they're telling you is impossible if you're in your head and you're in thoughts. It just can't happen. So
That's a retrain the brain.
well, not for you, because you already know how to go there. It's just a little shift
It's a shift into
in a new environment.
yeah.
So
Interesting.
So now I'm going to get you to do a little experiment now that I've shown that to you. So now what I want you to do, breathe and relax, first of all. And then what I want you to do is just ask Dan to send in that direction since he's pointing in that direction. But before you do it, I don't want you to think about anything. I don't want you to think about your body language, how you're asking right now. I don't want you to worry about any of that. All I want you to do is ask him to move. If he doesn't, help him start moving. Then go straight into neutral and read his body language to me. That's all I want you to focus on. I don't care where he's going, how fast, how far, none of that matters. There's no right or wrong, so don't feel pressured, but just beautiful. Now just go into neutral and read his body language to me, no matter what he does. Let him do whatever he wants. Yell it out. Tell me what you see.
He's pretty relaxed today. His head is down. His ears are pointing forward. Oh, now he's gonna come in. So he's
But how do you know? Like, read the body language to me. Break it down. If you want, send him off again. That's fine. Or tell me what you see right now. Like, just just read what you can to me. Again, there's no right and wrong. Don't feel pressured. Just do what you can do. Yeah, who cares if he goes the wrong direction right now? Who cares? This is about reading his body language.
So I think he's trying to figure out what I want him to do. So
How do you know? Read his body language to me. What tells you that? Is that a guess, or does something in his body tell you that?
his ears are twitching back and forth. He's got like wrinkly eye-itis. And he's pulling away. You can feel him pulling because he's not sure.
Just keep talking. Just keep reading.
And now he stopped because he doesn't know what I want him to do.
What in his body tells you that?
His eyes are flickering, and his ears are at the side. He's blinking a lot. He's not looking at me. And his feet are over here.
What does over here mean?
Like, they're away from me. He's not like in front of me. He's off over here somewhere. And there goes his ears all flicky, and then he's starting to close his eyes. Going, I don't know what she wants me to do. And now they're pointing back, and he's just kind of standing there going, what's this woman want?
Now turn and face me. And don't worry about Dan. Dan doesn't exist right now. Okay? If he walks around and you feel that rope move, ignore it. It doesn't exist. Okay? If it starts to wrap around you, just let it go. It won't hurt for him to just drag it along and walk away. Okay? So what I want you to do now is close your eyes.
Close my eyes again.
Yep.
Okay.
And I want you to relax. Just take some long, deep breaths. Sigh. Really breathe out. Let that tension out. Now, I want you to let go of all your knowledge, just for a few minutes. Everything you think you know, everything you think you've learned, what works, what doesn't. Let go of this farm. Clear all thoughts from your mind. Right now, there's no Shane. There's no wind. There's nothing for you to think about. Just let it all go. And if any thoughts come up, just let them fly by like clouds in the sky. Don't connect to them. Don't attach to them. Let go of who you are. You're not Paula right now. You don't have a name. You just are. I'm not here. There's no rope. Feel that space. Really feel into that empty space. Anything comes up, let it go. Push it out like a cloud. Blow it away. When you feel solid in that space, I want you to not yet. I want you, when you feel good and relaxed and solid and there's no thoughts in your mind, I want you to just casually open your eyes and send Dan off again. Doesn't matter where he goes, what he does. There is no knowledge right now. There's just space. And read Dan's body language to me after you send him off, no matter what he does, even if he stops, just keep reading. Whenever you're ready.
He's not focused. He's relaxed, but he's not focused.
How do you know?
Because he's looking away. And he's pawing the ground. And now he's going to come in.
Why is he coming in?
He's unsure. Now he's chewing
Why is he chewing?
because he's not clear. He doesn't know what I want him to do. And now he's pawing
Why is he pawing?
because he's asking me what I want him to do.
So let's go back to before we cleared your mind. Do you see any significant changes in his body language from then till now?
He's standing right in front of me.
Well, let's compare to what happened a few minutes ago before we cleared your mind. Let's compare his body language and what you read and what you saw.
He's paying really close attention to me right now.
Any idea why?
I'm not thinking about anything else but him right now. What's going on in his head?
Are his eyes closed and shut down like they were earlier?
No, he's wide awake.
Would he face you earlier?
No,
Did he chew earlier?
no.
No. So what do you think is attributed to all of these changes you see in his body language?
I don't have a curtain
Sorry, what was that? Could you repeat that, please?
up. I don't have a curtain up.
Beautiful. Do you see what a difference it makes?
Yeah, and he's chewing again, saying, okay, what
Do-
are you doing?
Would you say we have a night and day difference in this horse right now?
Oh, definitely.
And what did it take?
Just for me to stop thinking.
So was it the horse that was the problem?
No,
No.
no. And now he's really insistent. He's really asking me, what do you want to do?
What tells you that? How do you know?
Well, he's coming in. He wants to nuzzle my hand. His ears are up. His eyes are open. He's looking at me. He's all wrinkly, going, what are we doing?
Beautiful.
Feet are right in front of me, and
Beautiful. Both of you just stand in that energy for a few minutes. Just enjoy it. Something I want to bring to your attention, too, is the first time you asked him to go, your movements were not smooth and they were a little bit quick. The second time you asked him to go, you were very calm, slow, and direct in the way you asked compared to the first time. So you see when you're up in your head, what happens? You cannot, don't back away from him. Back him away from you. Oh, how nice and soft and beautiful was that? And did his eyes close? Ooh,
They're wide open.
beautiful.
And his ears, well, one of them's over there, but he's always got an ear over here for some reason.